Stevenson during these.
And I'm Lauren Johnson. We did Chapter 6, A Home for All Species. The main issue that SACS discusses in Chapter 6 was biodiversity, which is directly related to Millennium Development Goal number 7, environmental sustainability, and task number 2, which is reducing biodiversity loss by 2010.
So look, I'm going to take you further into this idea of biodiversity and how we affect it. See, as a human race, we are so demanding of the natural resources on this planet, which basically makes life difficult for all other species. If you look at species that live in the forest and our need for lumber and products that come from lumber and the concept of deforestation, you'll have animals that basically lose a place to live and they move on to other places. Now you have to think about this. This leads on to the concept of invasive species. Think about how a certain environment or habitat could sustain itself if it has too many predators. Imagine, if you have too many predators, what happens is the other species, such as, let's say, frogs, that, alright, you have fishes leaving certain fisheries because they were polluted. They come into certain areas where frogs were originally tadpoles, right? And these tadpoles, they become terrestrial species and in adulthood. Now these frogs, they can be endangered if you have an invasive species, such as fish from another area, come and eat all the little tadpoles. Like, you have to think about how it affects us. Yeah, we like to go to the zoo, and we see animals outside their habitat. It's not sustainable. But you also have to think of this. The more damage we do, the less of a chance that these endangered species that are in areas such as the polar caps, where global warming is eliminating, causing these species in environments that are affected by it to migrate, and some of them can't because of the geography. They die out. They become extinct. So when you think of Chapter 6 and the concept of a place for all species, this is the type of things that you have to think about. So what could we do to correct the situation?
Some of SAC's solutions in this chapter were creating things such as protective habitats, such as national parks and marine areas, which Bush has actually started creating off the coast of Hawaii. Avoiding deforestation. Instead of paying rainforest nations for their lumber, we would actually pay for reforestation and also issue carbon credits. Improving our agriculture production with our irrigation technologies, such as drip irrigation or low-till machinery and less pesticides. And lastly, the nitrogen cycle management, creating artificial wetlands and artificial species to stop the nitrogen before it gets into our water sources.